So people, friends, Toni is a transformational coach, so based in Philippines, and she has quite a following, right, Toni? Okay, so let's get right to the discussion, right? So okay, so I want to ask, very curious. Instead of asking you, oh, what do you think of what humble and humility means to you? I want to ask from you, based on your experience, when you were growing up, what were some lessons in humility taught to you by, could be your parents, could be the elders or people around you, those people who are older than you? What were your experience about being humble and humility? Okay, so let's hear from Toni.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, basically for us Filipinos, we have been known for being hospitable and humble.
Absolutely,
So the
yes.
usual things, yeah, so the usual things that you hear from your elders, from your parents, and even teachers that, when you deal with people, make sure that you are humble, make sure that you give way. And those are the stuff that we usually hear.
Mm,
However, personally, when I was growing up, I witnessed two versions, the
mm,
proud version and the humble version. So I've seen those who are not so expressive, and I realize it depends on the status. So this is just my observation, Dean.
yes,
So
absolutely.
those who are more on the average living status or income status, they are
Mm,
more of the humble people. But those who belong to the fewer segment, the rich and the rich, they are usually the proud person. And as a child, I actually got confused which one to follow. And maybe later, later maybe I
wow.
can share more
So
about it.
yes, so
Yeah.
humility seems to be associated with the status, social status, right?
According to my observation when I was younger.
Nice. Okay. So now I'm curious to everyone, how has trying to be humble or being humble affected your progress, be it in career in the past or now as a business owner yourselves?
Okay, so how humility has affected me, whether it derailed me or made me become successful, I realized dependent on how I viewed myself. So
Mm,
growing up, as I was sharing earlier, since I had a distorted view of my
mm,
identity, everything is like more of a survival thing, more of a coping skill. Humility it's not my priority because when I needed to survive, I needed to use strength, what else, to brag and to control.
it's like
During
get your
I remember,
goals at all costs, right?
yes,
To get your
and
goal at all costs.
for me, that time is more humility is more of like a negative thing when I was younger because if I'm not assertive, I mean, humility is equivalent to not being assertive,
Mm,
not voicing out what you think is true, and it's just like in layman's term, just shut up and be quiet. But when I learned my real identity,
mm,
when I have now the correct view of my self worth, my
mm,
identity, my value, as well as the correct source of my confidence. Humility now became part of my leadership. So everything, the perspective changed. So I know now that one of my purpose is to become, or I am now a visionary leader, which entails one to be humble. So what is that? I need to be teachable. I need to always assert the truth without really using ego. I need to also collaborate because when you're humble, you also accept that you cannot do anything, right? So I need to collaborate. I need to also acknowledge if I cannot do it because that's being humble. And all these things I remember I never had that when I was younger because surviving for me that time is to do it on my own. As long as I can survive, as long as I will become successful,
mm,
successful before is a different meaning. Now success is to be able to gain trust to the people you lead, that they will trust on your leadership, to leave an inspiring legacy. That's
mm,
why you don't aspire anymore to control everyone. You don't aspire also
mm.
to control things that you cannot control. And I've learned to be contented. If this is what is going to happen today. I don't anymore think so much about the future. And Aisha was right. I learned how to sell by just being humble because I became authentic. I don't need to even invent, to over exaggerate, to exaggerate anything
Mm.
about my service. I just have to be humble and authentic that this is what I've learned. These are the skills that I have experienced. And these were also my failures that I'm going to teach you. And now I believe it has been helping me with my success as to a speaker and trainer.
Very beautifully put, Tony. It's very nice. So you're saying that just because you are a leader or you put yourself in a leadership positions, it doesn't mean that you disregard other people's opinion because everyone else is just as valuable. They have thoughts, ideas, and opinions that you could use in your leadership role, right? Great. Okay, now working on that topic, right? I want to know, I'm a business owner, you are all business owners. Now I've achieved something really great. I need to show, I need to tell. And that's what we do a lot on LinkedIn, we do on Facebook. We need to do a bit of show and tell so that people will know. But now, are we saying that, oh, because I'm humble, I want people to know that I'm humble, I shouldn't put all these things out into the world?
Okay, so three major factors have helped me change my view about humility. Number one, being a Filipina, it's very innate in us, this concept of bayanihan. It's a
Mm,
local term, we call it bayanihan, equivalent to helping each other.
mm,
Number two, major factor that really changed my view of humility is my being an image consultant, because now we understood that we can be misinterpreted. We call it the perception or impression management, and how we present ourselves may not be equal to what equivalent to our intention, to our heart and everything. That's why we need to manage the perception and impression of other people. Third is my being a Haga international leader, wherein it really changed my mindset that it's very important to bow down to God, and in
mm,
due time He will lift us up. So how did
mm,
everything change? Everything is actually the issue of the heart. Our humility, my humility,
mm,
depends on the condition of my heart. So if my heart is
mm,
hurting, it will emanate in the way I promote myself. If my heart is still on the coping mechanism,
mm,
all my statements will be bragging, so that I will feel the entitlement, I will feel the
mm,
importance and significance. But when your heart is healed, filled with love, then comes the combination of the three exposure that I had, helping that you will now understand the need of my target audience. And from that, that's the content that I need to talk about, that I need to present. So even if these are my qualifications, credentials, and certification, if it's not matching the need of my target audience, then there's no promotion at all. So promotion is just like actually a term being used in marketing, right? But at
mm,
the center of it is really how are you affecting the people listening to you? Because as a
mm,
leader, we are just either affecting them negatively and positively. And I believe humility coming from a good heart will always affect people, whether young or old, professional or not, amateur. It will all end up as they felt, or they will feel that you care for them, that you are there to help them. So the promotion now becomes like something that is not being the facade of everything of your social media post, because you are now authentic. You are now no longer after
mm,
the facade that is acceptable to
mm,
them, but you are after the authenticity that talks
mm,
about real truth. And you also want them to experience what, for example, me, I discovered that if this is my identity, if I am not a mistake, if I am, if I have my own strengths, I have my specific brand, then I don't need to copy somebody else. And if that truth will also be learned and discovered by my target audience, or at least anyone related to my target audience, it will now become fulfilling to me, without really being proud, but at least something that because humility, I'm sure all of us will agree, it makes us feel happy. It makes us feel fulfilled, right? Because out of that comes collaboration, helping, and another person validating. Thank you for making me see, these things that I don't see before. Thank you that because of your post, I hear now. Well, let's take it brutal truths that I never heard before.
Mm,
And
mm.
I believe humility can make everyone successful as long as we use it in the right context.
Beautiful. You said it so beautifully. Now, just to wrap up the whole discussion, um, think about humility as you believe it now. Give me, or let's share with everyone, uh, three elements that should be part of humility as we have defined it today.
Humility for me is 3I: inspiring self,
Wow.
inspiring others, and inspiring legacy. Inspiring self is the foundation. We need to understand who we are, our identity, our brand, our strengths, and our uniqueness. And we need to be grounded in the right source of confidence, because we cannot immediately jump to, trying to impress others or inspire others when you yourself don't understand everything. We will begin copying, and that's not the right way, or that's not
Mm,
humility. Then
mm,
once you are okay, once everything is clear about your identity, we can now begin embracing. In humility, embrace corrections like how should we look, how should we act, how should we behave, and what are
mm,
the other things we need to observe both online and offline. And the
mm,
combination of the two, inspiring self and inspiring others, I believe will always result to inspiring legacy. And that's humility. It's like a long-term vision that is achievable as long as what you do moment to moment, week by week, and month by month is within a system or good
mm.
habits that will make for you and will not break you.
Wow, so beautiful. Every one of you have given so much value. I don't know about people, friends. And they great. It's amazing. Hui Fang is reiterating what Tony just said, right? Okay. So it seems to me, to conclude, seems like humility is not a derailer. It's an enabler if you do it in the right way, with the right intention, and in the right context. Am I not wrong? Am I right? Yeah.
Two
Yes.
Okay.
thumbs up.
Oh,
Absolutely.
awesome. Now, before we close this, I'm sure there are people out there who wants to reach out to every one of you. So, can you just very quickly, if people want to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you? And maybe even share one very quick point of what you do, just to remind everyone. Aisha.
Yeah, I help people like you who wants to be ambitious with your life.
Mm,
And so you can reach me by my website, aishabibha.com. So I'll be happy to connect with you.
all right. Mazuki.
Currently, I'm focused on helping people to actualize wealth in all the areas of their life. So, if you want to
Mm,
reach me, you can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I'm there. Yeah.
all right. Tony.
I help leaders, particularly leaders, to become influential and have the right source of confidence. So you can reach me at www.tony.ph and radiance.ph.
Nice. Mervin.
I help introverts connect with people and lead others. You can look for me at LinkedIn or Facebook or quietimpact.asia.
Okay, so like what one of our viewer Hui Fang is saying, each one of you later you can put in your
Facebook or
your
Quiet
connections
Impact.
on Facebook. And wow, Ramesh Tarani is saying that today's session is awesome, fully reinforced. Let me put it there. Yeah, today's awesome, fully reinforced my belief that we all rise by uplifting others, and that only can happen once we stay humble and behave with humility and love. And guys, for me, to all my guests, all four of you, it's been amazing because all this while I don't know whether I'm kind of like switch between, is it an enabler? Is it a derailer? Sometimes I think it's a derailer. Sometimes I think it's an enabler. but you have put everything in context and put all the parts together to form a whole picture. Very beautiful. So thank you for saying yes to this interview, this session. Aisha, Mazuki, Toni, Marvin, thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Friends, have a great day. And please share this to all your friends, because what they have shared is amazing. More people need to hear this. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.